Hey, everybody. Good Tuesday morning. I hope you're all doing well out there, and thanks for joining us. Good morning, Jason.
Top of the morning to you there, Michael.
It is definitely top of the morning.
Top of the morning. It is, yeah. The sun is just coming up here. I mean, it's been up a little bit. I can kind of barely see it peeking around the corner, but yeah. Top of the morning.
Well, today we're talking pricing strategies for your appliance repair business, because pricing isn't just numbers on an invoice. It's your profit engine, survival guide, and your growth blueprint.
Wow. That's true. Yeah. I like talking pricing. Pricing is always a fun one. I'm telling you, especially as an electrician, getting to sit and talk with people and help them figure out their pricing strategy, come up with the pricing book. That was always fun.
Always the one thing that everybody's different on. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what everybody else is charging. It matters what you're charging.
100%.
And your competition in your area. And we'll talk about some of that. But today we'll talk about the pricing models and handling some pushback.
That don't happen. Never.
Yeah. Never. You gotta handle those challenges. We'll talk some high-end appliance stuff and the mindset shift from technician to CEO.
Yep.
All right. So let's open in prayer real quick.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. You said you were going to do the prayer?
Sure. I'll take that.
All right.
I'll take it. Father God, thank you for the wisdom and the courage to lead with an integrity. And as we dive into today's topic, just help us see that pricing is not just numbers, but it's a reflection of the value that you've called us to bring to our businesses, to every single job. Guide us to make decisions with clarity, confidence, and boldness so that our businesses can thrive and so that our teams can grow and that we can serve our clients with excellence. And above all, let people see your love through our actions. Amen.
Amen. Great prayer.
Thanks.
All right. Today we got a verse. Wisdom preserves the life of him who has it. That's Ecclesiastes 7:12. So be wise in your business pricing strategies.
Be wise in your business.
Wisdom preserves the life of him who has it. I want my life preserved.
How so?
I just enjoy my life. I really do.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about that this weekend. We were down at the camper and doing a bunch of stuff, and I finally got a chance to sit down by the river and just enjoy nature. And I was like, you know what? I got a good life.
Yeah.
So I can preserve it.
By preserving, when I hear you say that, and I know we're throwing us off topic, but I hear two different ways. One is I want my life to be preserved, meaning after I'm dead and gone,
yes,
preserved. Or B, I want my life to be preserved so I can live a nice long life, right? And enjoy what I have now.
And it's both.
Yeah.
It's definitely both. God gave us our lives. We might as well enjoy it, right?
Yeah. You know,
make the most of it, enjoy it.
Start with that is by figuring out our pricing strategies.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely helps. I was talking to somebody that this weekend, money isn't the answer to all problems, but it can definitely be used to solve problems.
That's for sure.
So it makes things easier.
Yeah.
But if you got a problem and you can afford to solve that problem with money,
yeah,
you don't have a problem. If you can solve it with skill or knowledge or money that you have access to, you don't have a problem.
Yeah. I wish I had this video on my computer. I'd share it right now, but it's an old video. I wish I could find it real quick, but it's an old video of a guy talking about time equals money, money equals this, money, and it gets down to women equal problem.
Nice.
Oh man, I might have to drop that one in the comments later after this is over because
Well, with
it's pretty fun.
that being said, speaking of videos, with that being said, and we're talking about pricing, structure and everything, let's have a word from our sponsor.
Hi there, I'm Chuck from Chuck in a Truck Appliance Repair, Craigslist Pro Edition. That's right, Pro. Not because I'm licensed, but because I get results. Usually. Now I know what you're thinking. Chuck, what makes you different from all the other guys who show up 2 alleys late and leave with your remote? Simple. Branding. See this shirt? Says cash only. That's commitment. I've been in this industry for, well, it's not important how long. Let's just say my tools are older than your kids. I learned appliance repair the old-fashioned way, from a YouTube video comment section. And this right here, this is my office, my assistant, my booking software, and my flashlight. Okay, not the flashlight, but hey, who needs batteries when you've got hustle? That van out there, she's got 100,000 miles and a dream. And that dream is you. Well, your wallet mostly. I'm not just a technician. I'm a businessman. I've posted over 60 ads on Craigslist today. If you haven't seen me online, you're probably just not refreshing enough. So, sit back, plug in that broken toaster, and watch a master at work. Or at least a guy who charges like one. Don't be that guy. No one respects Chuck. Not the customer, not the appliance, not even his own mom. And she left him a 1-star review. If your marketing strategy still involves handwritten flyers at laundromats, Venmo-only specials, and spray-and-pray Facebook posts with 17 emojis, it's time to grow up. Level up with Appliance Marketing Pros, where grown-up brands are built and Chucks get left behind. Visit Appliance.
That's hilarious.
I thought it fit for today's topic. So
where I always fix things, almost.
And he charges like a pro, even if he's not. So
Chuck in a truck. Yeah.
Even your Chuck in a Truck competitors are out there charging good prices. And you're wondering why you're broke.
Trunk lid electricians. I literally have a guy in my area that works out of an old Buick, and he has ladders that are literally strapped to the top of his Buick car, and has parts and tools in the back of his Buick. And this is what he shows up to work out of. So when I say trunk lid electrician, he's literally a trunk lid. But I got to give the guy props. I mean, at least he showed up.
Yeah, at least he showed up.
I cleaned up a few of his messes over the time, but still. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Well,
good video. Okay, who created the video? Was that a AI video?
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, that's neat. All right.
So let's talk about the mindset shift.
The mindset shift. Say that 5 times very, very carefully. Mindset shift.
Yeah. I think that last word might come out a little different.
Correct. That's why you gotta say it carefully.
So we're gonna break free from the race to the bottom thinking.
Yeah.
Competing on price is a trap.
It's a huge trap.
You can't look at what everybody else is doing. You should know what your competitors are charging. Okay. Because you should know what your competitors are doing all around. But when you compete against their pricing, a lot of times it's just a trap. So
I'm gonna challenge you on that.
Yes.
Challenge you. Why should you care about what your competitors are charging? And this is twofold, because I somewhat agree and somewhat disagree.
You should absolutely know what they're charging so that you know how to talk to the customer that has already called them and is challenging you
Yeah.
on your pricing.
Hmm.
That's why you should be talking about or learning about your competitors.
Hmm.
If you got the Chuck in the truck down the street and you know what kind of shoddy work that they're doing, you can speak to that. I'm not saying you should ever really talk bad about your customer or about your competition.
Mhm.
All right. But there are some people that deserve to be talked bad about. I mean, let's face it. There's some hacks out there, right? Like you just talked about the trunk
Yeah.
lid guy in his
Yeah.
Buick. But then you said at least he showed up.
Yeah.
But which showing up is half the battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he got 50% of the way there, even if he did shoddy work.
Yeah.
So you got to give him a little credit for that.
Yeah.
But
I always tried to
never enough.
When I was at a customer's house, and especially if I was number 2 or number 3 to show up for bids, I always tried to build value in my prices first, right? So build value in your prices. And then if you need to, well, okay, customer brings up this guy was $500 less. I always just simply ask, okay, well, let's take a look at his bid versus mine. Why is he $500 less? And then I would pick it apart at that point. So
yeah, what did he miss?
Yeah, for me, it's not necessarily when I heard you say what you say, it's like, okay, I need to know what they're charging ahead of the game before I go out. No, not necessarily. Build value for me, it's build value on what I'm here. Let me build value to the point where you say yes, right? Versus, all right, I've got another bid. Okay, well then let's compare them apples to apples, right? Break out there. I don't know how many times I was there and I would say that, and they're like, oh yeah, they just told me a price over the phone. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, kind of hard to compare apples to apples when we really don't have anything in writing right here, right?
Right.
And oftentimes when I get into that situation, they actually come here and do the work, and it ends up being more than what they actually quoted over the phone. I'm here. This is the price to the exact penny of what it's actually going to be. Would you like me to go and get started?
Yeah.
Just a simple way to
my own son called around. He needed a plumber. He called around. He got a vast array of prices for their service call.
Yeah.
Right. And he was so focused on that service call fee. And I said, boy, it is not about the service call fee.
Boy.
It is about what the repair is going to cost. Because no matter what that service fee is, it's going to be rolled into the repair.
Yeah.
And I said that final repair cost is what you need to focus on. And you need to find the best person to do that repair. Right. So it was a customer education moment with my own son at that point. And it was hard because he was so focused on that, which is, I mean, let's face it, that's going to be most of our customers. Right.
Yeah.
So
as far as that service fee is concerned, don't get tripped over it. I mean, what do I charge? Do I charge $29? Do I charge $129? Charge something. That's what I would say. Charge something. And if you want to roll it into it, roll it into it. I didn't roll my diagnostic fee, we call it an evaluation fee, into it. Now, there are certain cases when I'm there that I turned a diagnostic into I guess for the sake of the appliance world, a repair or even a bigger job. And people would ask, well, is that $89 part of that? You know what? For this, I'll roll that $89 into this repair for you. That'll save you another $89. If that's what gets you to say yes, I'm not actually saying that, but in my mind, I'm thinking if that's what's going to get them to say yes, that's when you got to learn your customers. But yeah, so I didn't actually waive my trip fee, evaluation fee. So that's a huge thing when we have half of our clients are appliance repair companies, and the majority of them roll that fee into the repair. I'm sitting here thinking, Lord of mercy, that's you're taking $99 or $129 in some cases, or $149 and giving that to the client. So that's where I get
no,
tripped
when I say rolling that into your pricing, that doesn't mean waiving it.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's built into
part of that overall pricing, right?
Yeah.
So you're not waiving it. However, some occasions, maybe you match someone's fee, make it the exception, not the rule. Match their fee. It's about the repair. Don't get stuck on the service call fee. It'll make you a better salesperson.
Yeah.
Consider this. If you had zero service call fee, how much harder would you work to sell that job? How much better of a salesperson would you become? I would challenge people out there to have that mindset. The service fee is literally a big buffer, and it's a safety net.
Yeah.
For those of you that are out there that don't know how to sell, I'm just going to say it. So I think everyone needs to start focusing on sales skills, customer communication skills, and having a rapport with the customer and learning how to break things down in a way that they understand better so that you can sell that job better. And that's going to make that service fee irrelevant, right?
So I'm going to hit up, you've got a little note in here when you're breaking free from the race to the bottom, right? You have a stat in here that 10 to 30% profit margins are a healthy benchmark for the appliance repair industry, right? That's net profit, correct? You're talking net profit, all right?
Yeah.
So here's the kicker. The average net profit percentage that a home service repair company gets across the board is about 3%. That's average. That's sad.
It's really sad.
I used to know McDonald's net profit percentage. It was 27%. Okay. Per location, the average McDonald's was 27% net profit. I just looked it up. As of 2023, the average McDonald's location's net profit percentage is 33.23% net.
That's
profit.
Amazing.
That's sickening. And I always equated to this, that here, a place where you go get crap food. I'm sorry, I don't like McDonald's. I haven't eaten at McDonald's in forever. And I'm sorry to my local people that I know. You're great people. I just don't like the product you serve. But 33.23% net profit for this fat-laden, nasty, disgusting food. And here, the average service contractor is struggling to get 3% net profit.
But why is that? I mean,
All the
you're
more
talking
reason
a
to make
mega
sure you're
corporation,
pricing.
but they figured it out. They have systems. They've streamlined
processes.
They have repeatable everything.
Yep.
They have big buying power because they're so huge. I mean, their biggest thing is they've leveraged buying power.
Yeah,
which definitely helps.
And their pricing. I mean, it's consistent across the board. Whether, you're in England or Timbuktu, Kentucky, you know that you're going to pay X amount roughly for a burger and fries and a Coke. They've got the pricing aspect down to a T. If their widget cost goes up, they raise it across the board, and you see those hikes all around. So with the right systems, the right CRM, all you got to do is, if this price goes up, you click a button. So again, the whole aspect of having the right processes and tools in place. That blew me away. 33%. I had to throw that one out there. So, I mean, all the more reason to make sure you're priced correctly. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about what works and what doesn't.
We didn't say hello to anybody. We got, a few people. I always forget.
I'm going right into it.
Yeah.
Good morning, Garrison.
Yeah, Gary up
Jojo.
above. Morning, Gary.
Good morning, guys. And then we got
anybody else joining in.
That guy.
Where's Saul? I haven't seen Saul.
Yeah, he doesn't like us anymore. Maybe
I'll shoot him a text. He always contributes quite a bit in the comment section.
Yeah. Hopefully next month when I'm in Miami, I can
Ooh.
Get together with him for
Yeah.
coffee. He owes me a Cuban coffee. All right.
What's
So
next?
pricing models, what actually works?
What does work?
Flat rate pricing. It's the gold standard. It's clear, predictable, and scalable.
Yeah.
That's the key word, scalable. Customers prefer to know the total cost right up front.
Yeah.
Make sure you're using the blue book or develop your own pricing matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the biggest problem. Updating prices.
Yeah.
It's easy to update prices annually when you're talking labor, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get new machines, you got to have different pricing for the new machines, because maybe something might take longer, on certain things, but you need to at least annually look over your pricing.
Yeah.
However, parts and fuel are going to affect your pricing more than you think, like way more often.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely make sure that you're looking at that on probably every 2 months.
Yeah. I
Let's say
readjusted our
6 times a
prices
year.
every 6 months, but when COVID hit, that was a horrendous time. Like literally our supply chain went next to nil, and I literally raised our prices probably 4 times within a month. And I've never done that before. Like usually it's twice a year I evaluate and adjust accordingly, up or down. But within a month, I remember when I would give somebody an estimate for work, I remember getting down to the point that this estimate is good until the end of day tomorrow. Like I went from, this estimate's good for 6 months, down to 3 months, down to a month, 2 weeks, a week. And then by the end of day tomorrow, I don't know where prices are going to be at. So if this is something that you want, I would suggest we go ahead and let's go ahead and order it and get it done and get it taken care of right now. That's
absolutely.
how crazy it was. So supply and demand, man, especially in times of weird situations like that, you really got to be on your game, or you can lose your shirt.
Well, and the manufacturers are constantly updating their pricing, right?
Yeah.
Based on tariffs or just shipping costs maybe going up, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
You need to stay in line with that, and what you paid for the part for your truck stock today isn't what the price is going to be tomorrow to restock it. So you need to charge accordingly to what it's going to cost to restock it. So not just what you paid for that part yesterday. You know what I mean? So, all right. Another thing that works, tiered pricing.
I love tiered pricing.
Tiered pricing is nice because you can have different options.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I like using the word solutions. I don't know what it was.
Yes.
Options versus solutions. When I was talking to somebody, I would always say solutions. I've got several solutions for you here. This one here is the best one. It's going to have the best guarantees. Everything going to be best parts. It is a little bit more expensive. Here's everything laid out. And then I would say, I do have a couple other solutions for you. I'll just let you take a look at that, and you let me know which one you want me to take care of for you today. It's the easiest way to lay it out. I tell you, one of the most valuable things that I loved about tiered pricing or solutions-based pricing was just the simple fact customers love choices, right? Again, McDonald's, you go in, you got choices, right? It's not just I go in and I have a burger, I have a fry, and I have a Coke. That's it. Would McDonald's survive if they only had a burger, a fry, and a Coke? No. You have solutions. You have choices. So think about that with your clients, right? I go in, I don't want to give them just, here's how much it is, pay up, sucker, and you're done. It's give them solutions. If you can't figure it out, the dryer, I've talked about this with running some service calls with some of our clients, is you go in for a dryer fix, right? Okay, well, why were you called there? Always address that first and foremost, right? Don't try to sell them on stuff without addressing why you're there. the reason you called me out here is because of this, right? While going through your dryer, I found this and this as well. Now I've got several solutions to get all this fixed with for you. The top solution, it's going to take care of everything. It's going to bring your dryer back to near perfect condition. It's going to have the best guarantees. It's going to last a long time for you. If anything should happen, I'm going to come out and I'm going to take care of it back for you again, right? It's X amount. Now I got a couple other solutions that are a little bit less money. I'll just let you take a look at these and you tell me which one you want to do for me or do for you. And then you shut up. That's a whole nother aspect of.
I would also add in that premium one, this is going to be the best solution I can offer you for your family.
Ooh.
When you mention family, it hits home.
Unless you get somebody that's just a single for you and your home.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. When you make it more personal, as a solution for the entire family in their home, like you said, that's when it really hits home and matters. So you could use little nuggets like that to help sell the job.
Yeah. So that out of all of them, this one is one of my favorites. I call it solutions-based pricing. So
I love this model.
Yep.
The best. And obviously this is a combination of flat rate pricing and tiered pricing can go together. You can blend a lot of this stuff. But you could say, okay, this one has a 90-day warranty. This one has a 6-month warranty. You could literally just extend the warranty and charge more.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's an easy way to tier up your pricing so that you can boost your average ticket.
For sure.
That's and customers love making their own choice. So like you said.
Yeah.
And then there's value-based pricing. Charge based on what the outcome is worth, not what it actually costs.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? High-end brands. You get it Sub-Zero, Wolf, Thermador, you're going to charge more.
Yeah.
It's what it's worth. Not what it costs you. So build value around your expertise, certifications, and your warranty coverage. Your professionalism is the level of what you get paid. This one's a little bit harder because most people aren't doing, the average appliance repair company out there isn't doing a ton of high-end brands. Like they don't specialize in that, right? So to be called an absolute expert and have the certifications and be authorized by those companies, you're going to have a lot less people that are going to have the opportunity to do that, right? But if you specialize, hey, I'm all for it. Charge as much as you possibly can, for those.
Yeah.
So in conclusion to this part, flat rate plus tiered pricing is going to be the most consistent and profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And then time and money models, they're risky and they just don't scale.
Time and material is always been a
time
loser.
And material,
yeah. Time and material for me has always been a loser. Never been a fan. Never been a fan. It's a race to the bottom, right? Used to do a lot of new construction, and at one point we had 10 guys, 6 trucks. I was doing work for 18 contractors, and that was 2004. And we lost a lot of money that year in revenue because the contractors, man, they just wanted whoever's cheapest to come in here and do the electrical. I had 3 contractors at one point say, hey, where can we cut some corners to get the price down? And it's like, my name's on it. I'm not cutting corners, right? This is the price, is what it is. And that's when we started getting out of new construction.
Yeah. Think of it this way, when you're on an hourly structure and that's time and materials, right? It's just another word for hourly.
Mm-hmm.
You can only physically work so many hours in a day. And if you're really good, you work less hours fixing something. Mm-hmm. Let's face it, right? So if you're doing hourly pay, you are putting a cap on your income.
Yeah.
You're putting a ceiling on it immediately, and you will never make more than your own time plus the materials. I mean, because you basically have to take the materials out of it. You know, you're going to sell those parts, mark them up a little bit. That's going to be marginal. You're not going to make a ton of money. Labor is where you make the bulk of your money, right?
Yeah.
So when you put a cap on that time, you just put one foot in the grave, literally, because you're killing your business right out of the box by doing that. So definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Our time is getting away from us today. I just realized.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if this was going to be a long one.
We could easily do a part 2. Like we could cut it right here and do a part 2 on this one.
We could definitely do that.
Yeah.
What is our topic next week? It's owner's mindset. So it would fit.
You want to
owner's mindset. So we're going to talk about customer psychology and pricing presentation,
which gets into objection handling, which we were going to talk about. I'm thinking we need to do a part 2 and roll this in. I'm just saying, because I know objection handling is one of my favorite topics, and I could talk for easily in an episode like this 5-10 minutes just on objection handling, if not more. So, and I got some cool slides I could share with you on objection handling too. So
yeah, let's do that next week.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll start where we left off.
Make a part 2
psychology and do part 2.
Yeah. Keep you guys mindful of your time frame, because I appreciate you guys showing up and being here. So yeah, I like that.
All right. I know Zach and Doug went really long yesterday on this topic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more that we have to cover that they didn't even cover in an hour.
Easy topic to get lost in, man. It's a great conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you
part
for
2 next week.
Getting with us. And since we're talking about pricing, our mastermind is all about pricing your service. A lot of this stuff will be in that mastermind, and we'll go a lot deeper. TK and I are working on putting all that together for you on the 21st for our all access members. Get over there and join and sign up, and you'll have free access to those mastermind sessions.
I like it.
And we'll see, like, share, and subscribe. Pay the fee.
Appliance Marketing Pros, My Office Help, Service Alliance Group. We appreciate you guys.
We do. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for tuning in to the Morning Grind podcast by Service Alliance Group. Subscribe to our channel and make sure you visit our website at servicealliancegroup.com for appliance repair business resources.